gonna stop being lazy. Yeah. And I became creative. Yeah. And I learned how to create it. And now that pride's for me. So come see. Oh, come eat.
Welcome to the Silver Line Rapid Reaction. We coming to you live with some coverage from the Falcons 22-6 victory in prime time in Minnesota. Boy, Cam, how you feeling about this goddamn win?
Man, I couldn't feel better. Just the nature of how we won, man. Like leaning on our defense, leaning on the run game, controlling the clock, controlling the tempo, going into their house and making a statement saying, hey, today we doing this how we want to do it. We gonna run it how we want to run it.
How many sacks?
6, my boy.
How many turnovers?
4.
Pull up the stats. How many rushing yards?
Oh yeah, let me pull them up. Let me pull it up.
Did we crack
218 as a team.
Let me tell you something, brother. That's some old school football right there.
Old school, baby.
All right, you run the ball and you play good defense and you get a goddamn W.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, look, so this was one of them games, going into it, we were a little apprehensive. I think I was a little less apprehensive than you, right? Like, I think I picked them to win by double digits. I said 27-17. What was your final score? 30?
It was 31-30.
31-30? Oh, you thought it was going to be a close one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing for me was I wasn't really buying Minnesota offense like that. Like, I'm like, nah, we held the Bucks. Now, I know the Bucks had injuries, but we did hold them to like 23. And honestly, some of them points, at least 7 of those points came off of a big return. Which, by the way, we didn't before we obviously we talk a little bit before we start recording. We need to give some pointers, some points too, to the coverage unit. Because,
oh my God, yes.
Because last week, one of the issues we had was we gave up a 54-yard return on a 59-yard kick. I felt like that gave the Buccaneers a short field, and they were able to score a touchdown off of that. This week, coverage unit was immaculate. They were perfect. They were literally perfect tonight. So you had that. You had the defense getting pressure, getting home, getting sacks, forcing turnovers, and the pressure was forcing turnovers too. Zach Robinson got back there. He got free, man. He punched that damn ball loose. You know what I'm saying? Xavier Watts, Billy Bowman, both getting their first interceptions. James Pierce, Jalen Walker, both getting their first sacks. This was almost one of the most perfect nights, at least for the defense. I feel like this is one of the perfect nights as far as like feeling vindicated about everything the Falcons did this past offseason.
Oh my God. From who we drafted the last 2 years, we have heavily invested on defense these last 2 years. And to see that investment slowly come to fruition, it ain't there just yet. And I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch after week 2. Not after week 2. But man, was this telling? And granted, we did play against a rookie QB. And things are coming a lot faster than than somebody who's a lot more composed, as opposed to like a Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts or a Josh Allen.
But let me interject real quick. We played a rookie QB, but for once in Atlanta Falcons history, we made the rookie QB look like a rookie QB.
Oh my God, yes, man. Yes, dude. This was like such a sweet vindication win, man. Our defense was able to come up, attack, play with the up until AJ Terrell tweaked his hammy, and you know what? Prayers up to him. I hope he's gonna be good. A hammy that depending on the severity, that could be a couple weeks to maybe a couple months.
Yeah, I think he might miss some time with that one.
Yeah, I'm thinking he gonna miss he might miss a month with that one. I wouldn't be surprised if.
Wouldn't be surprised. Hey. We didn't say this in the offseason, but we're saying it now. Thank God for that early bye week, huh?
Yeah, man.
Because AJ Terrell, immediately after Terrell went down, We saw them target Justin Jefferson deep, and had led to them getting points before half. And we could see that it kind of shook Jeff Ulbrich a little bit. In the second half, he started calling the defense a little different. But the beautiful thing about it was, despite the change in the defense, he still felt confident in his unit's ability to get home. Obviously, if they could have kept their secondary intact, I think we would have had even more sacks. I think we
Oh my
would have
God,
been,
yes. And the crazy
yeah,
thing is, even with him playing more conservative, we were still able to get home, still able to produce turnovers. Oh my
yeah.
God, man.
We got
Oh my
pressures.
God, man. This game right here showed the potential of a lot of players, man. Hell, it vindicated Terry a little bit.
It vindicated a lot of this game, right? At least for
Yeah.
now. Now, if it doesn't maintain, obviously things are subject to change. But when you talk about, the all the moves Terry made as the GM the last couple of years, both in terms of investing on the D line, investing in the secondary, Raheem's decision to hire Jeff Ulbrich. Let's be real now, guys. People was not really necessarily feeling that. Some people was like, okay, how it goes. When you're a Falcons fan, you got the Falcons optimists, and people were looking at Jeff Ulbrich and saying, hey, this is a guy who's coached under Saleh. He's probably learned something. He's also been a coordinator for a top 5 defense. So it's like, yeah, what's good. But a lot of other people were like, nah, we did this before. This looking more and more like something we did in the past, because you got Raheem, he was here. You have Ulbrich, he was here. It's like the same
Hmm.
guys doing the same shit, and so a lot of people wasn't necessarily feeling that. And obviously, there were some other names out there that we might have wanted, but Ulbrich, last 2 games. Obviously the game against the Buccaneers had some bad parts, but the pressure was there. And this week they improved on that. They got home. Last week, the picks were there. We just missed them. We dropped them. This week, we got them.
Hmm.
And then look who got him. And then that's when you put the ball back in Terry court, and got to give him some credit. It was
The
like,
Rooks.
yeah, it was the guys that he drafted. And like,
Look who's
let's be
getting the
real.
sacks. The Rooks. First and second year
Bro,
players.
look,
Devon
that's fact.
Diablo, a guy he picked up in free agency. I'm like, all right, T, all right,
And, I,
Terry.
and look, let's be real now. We ain't paid top dollar for Devon Diablo. In fact, we went after him because we couldn't get Jamie and Sherwood, I believe, from the Jets. He cost a little too much. Jets wanted to keep him. They made him an offer he couldn't refuse. He stayed with New York. But
Hmm.
then we said, all right, we'll go after Devon Diablo. And whoa, this dude has been a stud in this defense through 2 games.
He absolutely has.
Yeah, he's been absolutely everything that you had hoped. Unfortunately, and I hate to be a little Debbie Downer, but he's been everything so far you hoped Troy Anderson would develop into.
Absolutely.
Um, and it was something else I was thinking too. I guess I'll transition because I can't remember what I was thinking, but I also feel like and I know given how the game played out, this is a little shaky. But I feel like we got to give a little credit to Zach Robinson. Now we only scored 22 points, only 1 touchdown, multiple failed attempts in the red zone. So like I gotta acknowledge that, because when you giving out flowers after a game like that, you gotta acknowledge the whole story, let people judge on their own.
Hmm.
But what I will say is I feel like at some point during the process, you could see that the team got on the same page as a whole unit, right? So the offense wasn't necessarily lighting it up, but it became clear, oh, okay, we can win this game if we run this ball, if we play keep away, and we play good defense. And Zach
Hmm.
and look, they did everything they could to make sure they got some points on most of those drives. We only had 2 3-and-outs tonight. Only 2. Right? A lot of those plays, even if we didn't get touchdowns, they just made sure, hey, we leaving with something.
We leave here with something, and I
We
love that
leaving
approach.
with something.
I love that approach.
Look, that's an underrated part of being a high-scoring offense. Obviously the best Falcons offense ever was 2016, so that's always a great frame of reference because as Falcons fans, those are the games I know that I can say, okay, these Falcons fans watch these games, so then they can relate, right? And so you go back to 2016, and one of the key things to making that team a high scoring offense was that you could always leave with something because you could get into scoring position and then you would either score touchdowns or you would get something in the kicking game from your kicker. And speaking of kickers, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our new kicker because obviously, unfortunately, but obviously, Young Weku's probably about to get fired because John Parker Romo went 5 for 5 tonight, including a late field goal from 54 yards. Shout out to the new guy.
Mm-hmm.
He really did his thing. Trying to earn his place in the league. He played last year. Played 4 games for the Vikings. I believe he went perfect during that time frame, and he's come in. And holy shit, he might have steadied the ship at kicker for this
He did,
team.
man. He did. And while we're talking about him, I know you mentioned it before, but special teams, brother. Special teams, man. When I talk about when you tell left no meat on the bone.
No meat on the
Left no
bone.
meat on the bone, man. They clean their plate on every return, minimal. I feel like the starting field position was like the 20 or less, man. It was beautiful.
Like it was definitely at least the 30 or less. Like they were buzzing around the ball. Didn't matter if it was punts, didn't matter if it was kicks. They were all over it.
Oh man, it was incredible, man. So
And honestly, getting that muff at the end, the muff punt at the end, that was like one of those. It was only right that it happened to them with how they played tonight.
oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like that was supposed to be Minnesota ball. Then they try to score feudally at the end, and maybe they get a score for just for moral victories type shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was like no, the coverage team been so on it tonight that it was only right that they got a turnover somehow, some way, even if it fell into their hand because of a muff punt. It was only right. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to call out another reason I wanted to shout out John Parker Romo was because it was clear sometimes tonight that they were not looking forward to necessarily having to kick.
Mm-hmm.
There was times when they was going for it on 4th down. And it was like, nah, I could sense it. Y'all just don't want to trust a kicker. I think we ended up getting a penalty, so we had to kick anyway. Um, yeah, I think it was like what, a 4th and 1, and we were gonna go for it, and they was just like, "Nah, we don't want to have to kick if we don't have to help it." And then he kicked that one. That first one was a little close. Now
It
that first
was.
one,
It was.
it was a little close. It didn't look like it went over and inside the outer edge, so it looked like it was good, but it was a little close. But let me tell you something, man. When it was getting tight, what was the score at the time? 12-6.
12-6, man. It was like right around the time I was like, you know what? This is right around the time the Bears start folding. This is around the time where like,
Yeah.
hey, or if we're gonna do some falconing type shit, it's gonna be around now.
It was gonna start with a miss right there.
Yeah.
It was gonna start with a
Yeah.
missed field goal right there. And he put the kibosh on that shit, man. He was like, "Yeah, I know that first was a little close, but that was the first one. I just needed to warm up a little."
Mm-hmm.
And then he kicked that 54-yarder right down the middle, clutch on the road. It was necessary. It was necessary because it changed the game. It turned it from a 1-score game to a 2-score game. So now
Oh
that put
yes.
a sense of urgency in the Vikings offense where it's like, oh shit, we got to score, get a stop, and score again.
Mm-hmm.
So, as opposed to, all right, we just keep playing good defense. We'll get our chance late in the game. No, no, no. That put pressure on him. And so that was a huge kick. And ice in his veins, man. He hit it. It was like and it's one of those moments that's like bittersweet because it's happy for us as Falcons fans, right? It's happy for him to say that, he understood the opportunity he had, right? This was his chance because I think Chris Collinsworth said on the broadcast, he lost the kicking competition in the Patriots to a drafted kicker, right? And
He did.
unfortunately, that happens to a lot of undrafted free agents. They didn't put anything into you, so they're gonna give the person that they spent resources on more opportunities than you, right? But now he's come here, and he might get a chance to feed his family. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy for him. But on the other end, you know, it's unfortunate, but you know, Koo got benched on Saturday. Um, he had a rough end to his game against Tampa. Had a rough year last year, worst year of his career in Atlanta. And I think that's gonna be the end of Koo, man. I think that's gonna be the end. Um, but back to Zach Robinson in the offense, there was a couple things I liked. So one of the things I think is strange though, I like that they're making up for it, but I love the way they used Charlie Warner tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
They used him as a blocking weapon in the pass game and the run game, and they moved him around. They didn't just, you know, motion him and then put him in that fullback role. Like they would put him on the edge. They would motion him as a fullback. When it was pass protection time, they'd say, "Hey, he a good blocker. Put his ass back there in the backfield too. We're gonna let him block in the backfield, and then we're gonna flex Bijan out to run a route." I said, "Boy, Zach, what you doing?" Oh shit, Zach. Now I ain't seen you do that before, Zach. Now that's creative as shit now. Because look, Bijan is a guy who I'm like, you know, I think I don't know, maybe his hands a little shaky. I think he might need to work a little on his hands. But as far as running routes, Bijan, he can do that. He can run those routes. So they were flexing Bijan out, and I think it's once he just gets a little more used to catching passes from um Penix, like Bijan's gonna be one of the best weapons we have.
Oh, he
Because
already is the best weapon we have.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for that correction because I was absolutely out of line. I know everybody felt like they chill when I said one of the best weapons. Nah, yeah, you're absolutely right. He is the best weapon, but I mean also in the pass game too, because um like Bijan, the dude Bijan, I still don't feel like he's reaching his full potential, even though he's having amazing games. He's been amazing for us so far, and I'm just like, y'all guys got to see how this dude can get open. And then like some of the runs he had tonight, like he would have like Bijan. I swear to God, this dude consistently year in and year out has the most impressive 4 to 7 yard runs you've ever seen in your life.
Oh my God, yes. His ability to make people miss.
In the phone booth.
And dog.
Like, bro, I'm I'm scared when I see him making them finely tuned athletes like that, like shake them out of their jock strap. I'm like, oh my god! If I tried to tackle Bijan, would I break my ankles literally? like,
Yes,
I'm
dude.
like, these are pro athletes, and he just frees them. You on the ground. I'm gonna drop you too right after, and I'm just like, bro, they
Dude,
like almost within arm's length of you. How are you shaking these guys like that? That's supposed to be
dude,
too close.
dude, and people said, you know what, Falcons at pick 8, reaching for a running back. You know what? Bijan has proved that he was worth every penny. He was
Yeah.
worth the price of admission. He was worth the pick, man. Because at that point, like you got to take BPA, and he has been worth it, man. Because at times he carries our offense. He carries our offense, man. And when you have a rookie QB, it's nice to be able to rely on somebody like him and Tyler Algier. So
Yeah.
while we're speaking on the running game, I like to give us some flowers to our O line.
Yeah.
I like to give us
Uh,
some flowers to our O line because they went out and
and they
said,
pushed him around.
we didn't run the ball well last week. Oh, we are going to address this. We're going to go out of our way all week and address this and make it a point come Sunday to rush for over 200 yards. Also, I want to give credit to Zach Robinson. That last drive where we scored with Tyler Algier. Granted, I know we were running the clock out, but hey, great drive. The couple pass plays we had, great as well.
Yeah.
You know what? Even Drake London, he had a good catch on that play on that drive, and I was like, hey, that's good to get that catch in, kind of make up from that fumble. And
Yeah.
speaking of that fumble, that does suck, and it kind of helps. It kind of hurts because we were
We were about
driving.
to score on that drive.
I
Yeah.
feel like we were going to score a touchdown on that drive. But you know what? He does have a sprained shoulder. Maybe when the guy punched it out, maybe that kind of fucked the shoulder. Maybe he felt it in the shoulder a little. I'm gonna give Drake a little bit of leeway, man. He did come off a little injury after last week, coming in playing again. So granted, he did fumble, but you know what? at the end of the day, he
I
made
know,
plays when it mattered the most.
bro, I'm right with you, man. Look, coach speak, right? Turnovers never acceptable, right? You can't accept anything in a win that you wouldn't accept in a loss. I get it. I'm with it right there with all of that, right? But you know, sometimes the other guy on the other team getting paid millions of dollars as well.
Yes.
And if we're being honest, that was a great fucking play.
Oh, he punched the heck out that ball.
Like it
Like,
really
like,
was. And like Drake, Drake caught, he got open, he caught the ball, and he was just trying to create some separation. And look, Drake is 6'4". He's got long arms. Most players, like at least like 75% of players in the NFL, if he gives a stiff arm, you're just not even gonna be able to reach far enough in to get to the ball.
mm-hmm.
Right. And he caught him. He caught Drake. And to Drake's credit, typically when somebody forces a fumble on him, he file that away in the memory bank, and he doesn't let that happen again. So hopefully, that's one of them ones where you remind him, hey, you got to hold on to that ball. Everybody can't be Tyler Algier, right? Tyler Algier he just don't fumble the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, and I was so glad he got that touchdown at the end.
It was just nice for him.
Yeah, it
Because
was.
Tyler Algier has been he's been a model citizen and teammate in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? He rushed for 1,000 yards as a fifth round rookie. Then the first thing we do is draft a running back. He happy to have Bijan there, and he happy to be in the role that he in. And he never fumbled the ball. He always give us tough yards, and shit. He did his thing tonight, giving us a lot of tough yards, handling a lot of short yardage situations. And he get to get that touchdown tonight, and the only touchdown that the offense scored tonight.
Correct.
So there was that. So I think I guess we ought to give Raheem some flowers too, just because this is team. I felt like this is the kind of game that I just don't associate with the Falcons from years past. Like this was really hey, we're gonna run the ball and play good defense kind of game. And I mean that's probably more how we won games in 2008 with rookie Matt Ryan. Um, but hey, for all you people out there listening that might be around our age, 2008 was 17 years ago. All right, so that was a long goddamn time ago, and we hadn't been doing a lot of that, winning games in that fashion on the road, in prime time. You know what I'm saying? Now, JJ McCarthy's a rookie, so I'm not gonna get overly excited, right? They had a backup left tackle in, and they had the backup to the left tackle in, and although I feel like school started for them last year a lot. I remember him. I think he played against the game against us last year. Maybe he was a backup then too. I don't know. I don't know. But and then Ryan Kelly got a concussion. But hey, nobody giving us any sympathy either. We got injuries too. That's just how the game goes. All right. But yeah, look, Rook, good game. Dorless, good game. Pierce, good game. Jalen Walker, boy, that rep that he got the sack on, that was the kind of rep where that's look go, if ever you get a chance to watch that replay, that is specifically the kind of play that turns Jalen around into a first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like he showed a lot of speed, power, technique, ability to get low, bend and get around the edge, get to the quarterback. Like that was specifically the kind of play that you draft a guy in the first round for. And he wasn't even getting that many reps at edge. Like, I'm just like, man, you get this guy some more reps at edge, man. We're gonna be terrorizing guys. Like, and bro, look, another thing we gotta shout out, man. Bro, the run defense through 2 games. All right, maybe I did not give these boys enough credit. I thought that the run defense was gonna be a for sure weakness. I thought in close games it was gonna show itself a little bit. But their ability to penetrate and get in the line, but also sometimes they kind of hold up and then they run a lot of different looks up front where sometimes they run that 4-man front, then they'll walk down an edge. make it a 52 front. And it was just like, man, these dudes are actually one. They holding up at the line of scrimmage, but then also they getting back there. Didn't and I for a minute there in the beginning, um, I felt a little offended that the Vikings on their first drive went for it on fourth down in their territory. I'm like, oh, that's a sign of what they think of y'all offense. I'm like, that's a sign
Yeah.
of what they think of us. They like, hey, you damn right, we're gonna go for it. Fourth down, first drive on our side of the field. Cause what you all gonna do about it if we don't get it? And they looked a little right, but man, it was like, hey, defense showed you what we was gonna do about it.
Absolutely, man.
You know what
They
I'm saying?
did, dude. They showed they behind today,
They
man.
did, man. And it's just so crazy that it's all the young guys. These not guys who here on 1 year contracts that's gonna be gone next year. Like, back in yesteryear when all the sacks was, Calais Campbell,
Mm-hmm.
Bud Dupree. I'm like, damn, man, that's good that they making plays, but he only 1 year deal. He's not gonna be here next year unless we re-sign him, but we don't know what his future is. Hey, I know what James Pierce Jr. gonna be next year. I know what Jalen Walker gonna be next year. I know what Billy Bowman Jr. gonna be next year. I know where Xavier Watts gonna be next year. So that
Mm-hmm.
was super exciting. But speaking of Billy Bowman Jr., man, he had a heck of a game. Um, through two games,
Terrific
he got a
game.
sack, he got a pick. Now he did have that one play where boy McCarthy missed him, but Bill Bowman was getting cooked.
Oh, he got cooked that play.
He got cooked.
They needed that. They needed, and when they didn't get that one, that took the wind right out of the sails for the Vikings, and that
It
was kind
really
of like the end,
did.
that was kind of the end of the game after that.
Yeah, they needed that. That was a walk-in. That would have been a long handoff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it goes like that sometimes, man. And my thing is when you're playing a young quarterback, he cannot be getting off against you. Make that young quarterback look like a young quarterback. Damn it. You got all these pass rushers, you got all this speed on defense. Show them how fast the game really is. All right. And I felt like they did that, man. And they ran the ball. They moved Charlie Warner around a bunch. I guess the only thing I had some concerns about, when we talk about concerns about this game, obviously seeing the plays that Watts and Bowman got beat on. Watts got beat on that play to Justin Jefferson right before the half that led to the Vikings getting 3 points. Bowman got beat on the aforementioned play. AJ Terrell is hurt and he's probably gonna miss some time judging by how hard he was clutching his hamstring. It's a hamstring, so that just that heal up when it heal up. I think it's fairly safe to say that we gonna have some games in the future where we struggle a little in the secondary, right?
Oh, absolutely, especially with AJ Terrell going down.
Yeah, but I will say that at least for one night, we got a lot to be happy about. And you know what? I'm ready to go ahead and be happy about that.
Couldn't have put it better myself, brother.
Right. It was one more thing. Oh. Gotta shout it out yesterday for the first time ever, all seven FBS and FCS Georgia teams won in football.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so it was a lot of pressure on the Falcons tonight to keep the streak alive. And God damn it, they did it. They did it. And
Mhm.
it gets a little better. It get a little better. And apparently, the Atlanta Dream of the WNBA beat the Indiana Fever in the playoff game.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
proud to be an Atlantean. I know what is it, Atlantan? I don't know, but
Mhm.
we Atlanteans tonight because it rhymes.
AT aliens.
Proud to be an ATLian. There you go. Yeah. Cause yo man, I am super excited about what the Falcons did tonight. I think they got a lot that they can carry forward. Next
Mm-hmm.
week we back home, back in the dome, back at the scene of the crime against the Panthers. And I think we got a chance to right our wrongs because the Panthers look kind of shitty right now. They look like everything that we thought they weren't. And shit. I forgot who the Bucks play tomorrow, but they lose. We right back in it.
Well, yeah, man.
Right back in it. And
It's a long season, man. I'm
that's
just taking
right.
it week by week.
That's all you can do. Don't look too far ahead. We ain't worry about the next game we play the Bucks or the game we play the Commanders because that's a game coming up. You know, the Bills looking like a buzzsaw. That's a game on the schedule. I mean, ain't got to worry about none of that. Let's just go ahead and worry about the next game coming up. Next game we got coming up is the rematch from the season finale last year. It's at Penix. He gonna come in with a little extra experience than usual. We're gonna come in with a little more pass rush than usual.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see where that thing go. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here, Cam?
Man, it was a pleasure. I am gonna have some sweet dreams tonight, my brother.
Brother, I'm right there with you. All right, man. Well, it was absolutely fun watching the Falcons, talking about the Falcons. Hopefully they can do this at a 1 o'clock game so we ain't got to stay up till midnight talking about these boys. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for staying with us. Y'all know what the drill is by now. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the little bell when we hear some real niggas uploading. Peace.